I stretched my arms, yawning as the sound of my alarm pierced through the silence of my new room. A new day, a new school. My heart skipped a beat as excitement and anxiety wrestled within me. I'd never been to a real school before. The orphanage had tutors who taught us the basics, but now I was about to join the big leagues, the same school my brothers attended. As I stepped into the shower, the warm water washed away my lingering sleep. I felt a mix of emotions, excitement for the unknown and fear of what lay ahead. What would my new classmates be like? Would they accept me, or would I be an outcast? The thought sent a shiver down my spine. I got dressed, trying to shake off the doubts creeping into my mind. My brothers were already familiar with this place, so they'd make it easier for me, right? But what if they didn't? What if I stuck out like a sore thumb? The uncertainty swirled in my stomach like a storm. I took a deep breath, trying to calm myself down. I'd faced tougher challenges before, like fighting in the underground street fights to support the orphanage, but this was different. This was about fitting in. About being normal. As I finished getting ready, I glanced at myself in the mirror. Who was this new Addison? A girl with secrets, with powers she barely controlled, a girl who'd fought to survive. Could I really fit in here? I pushed aside my doubts and headed downstairs, ready to face whatever this new day had in store for me. The aroma of freshly cooked breakfast filled the air. Mom was busy in the kitchen, a warm smile already on her face as she greeted me. My brothers were already seated at the table. Leo's eyes lit up with a friendly smile as he welcomed me. "Hey, sis. Come sit beside me." He patted the chair next to him, and I took a seat, trying to return his warm gesture. On the other hand, Lee didn't even acknowledge my presence. His gaze stayed fixed on his phone as he scrolled through it. I tried not to let it bother me, focusing on Mom's reassuring words instead. "Everything's taken care of, sweetie. Don't worry about a thing. All your bills are paid and you're free to focus on your studies and exploring yourself." Her kind tone put me at ease, but I couldn't shake off the feeling of uncertainty. After breakfast, Leo told me it was time to head to school. "Let's go, Addison." "Oh, Lee will drive us." Lee only nodded, and we headed out to the car. I sat in the back seat, watching as Lee and Leo chatted in the front. Lee's silence toward me continued, but Leo's friendly demeanor made the ride bearable. When we arrived at school, Lee parked the car and got out without saying a word, disappearing into the crowd of students. Leo turned to me with a warm smile. "Hey, don't worry, Addie. I'll show you around. Let's get you to your locker first." He led me through the school hallway, pointing out my locker and helping me get settled. After a quick tour, the bell rang, signifying the beginning of lectures. "All right, my class begins in a minute. I'll walk you to your class." He escorted me to my classroom, then gave me a reassuring smile. "You'll be fine. I'll see you later, okay?" With that, he turned and headed to his own class, leaving me standing alone outside my new classroom. I took a deep breath, steadying myself for what lay ahead. The unknown still lingered, but with Leo's kindness, I felt a glimmer of hope. Maybe this new school wouldn't be so bad after all. As I dropped into the crowded classroom, the chatter and laughter enveloped me. Students were grouped in corners, chatting and joking. I spotted an empty seat and made my way toward it, sitting down and rummaging through my bag to distract myself. Just as I was settling in, the classroom door swung open and a teacher walked in. The room fell silent as everyone turned to face her. She introduced herself as the literature teacher and quickly organized the class. Before starting the lesson, she announced, "We have a new student joining us today. Everyone, please welcome Addison Zachary." My heart skipped. I hadn't realized she was talking about me. I stood up, forcing a smile as I introduced myself. "Let's make her feel welcome," the teacher added, then asked me about my previous school and grades. I hesitated for a moment. The truth was, I hadn't actually attended school before. But I didn't want to reveal that. "It was fine and my grades were good," I replied, trying to sound confident. She pressed further with a few academic questions, but to my surprise, I was able to answer them well, thanks to the knowledge my supernatural powers had imparted in me. Teacher seemed pleased. As the lesson continued, she assigned us to read from a book titled The Assistant. A beautiful red-haired girl in a mini skirt stood up to read. She looked like part of a popular group, her air of confidence edged with pride and unfriendliness. When she finished, the teacher asked for someone to elaborate on the story. The same girl stood up again, but I found myself disagreeing with her interpretation. Without thinking, I raised my hand and shared my own perspective. Turned into more of an argument between the girl and me, but the teacher sided with me, impressed by my insight. "That's a great point, Addison." "Well done," she applauded. The girl's expression soured. She didn't seem pleased with what just happened. She shot me a jealous glance, her eyes narrowing slightly. I didn't know what to make of it, but I sensed a potential rival brewing. The teacher continued with the lesson, but I couldn't help but felt the girl's face lingering on me, a mixture of curiosity and hostility. I came to know that her name was Amber Evans. A few more classes went by, and it was finally time for lunch break. The class erupted with noise as everyone rushed out. I was still feeling a bit lonely, taking my time to pack up my notes. Just as I was about to leave, a pretty girl with a bright smile slid into the seat beside me. "Hi, I'm Kelly," she said, extending her hand. "And you're Addison, right? I heard when you introduced yourself." I nodded. "Welcome to our class." "Thank you," I replied, smiling back. "Honestly, I loved the way you stood up for yourself against Amber. She's always been a bit of a well. She winked. "I like your style." Her warmth put me at ease. After chatting for a while, she waved. "I'll catch you around, okay?" "Yeah, see you," I replied. As I walked out, my stomach growled. I followed the crowd toward the lunch hall, only to see the Amber girl walking towards me with two other girls, which I presumed to be her friends. Well, look who's here," she sneered, her tone dripping with a mix of mockery. "The newbie thinks she can talk back to me in class?" I tried to be polite. "Hello." Amber cut me off with a smirk. "You think your answer was right? I'll have mercy on you because it's your first day." Before I could respond, Leo burst out of the lunch hall, his expression sharp. "Hey, Addie." "Whoa, Amber. This is my sister, stay away from her." His tone carried a warning. Amber's expression changed from confusion to shock. "Your sister?" "Yes," Leo confirmed firmly. "She's my sister, recently adopted. Don't mess with her." He grabbed my arm and guided me toward the lunch hall. As we walked away, I caught a glimpse of Amber's face, her expression twisted with disbelief and anger. Leo led me to a table where a small group of guys sat, one of them being Lee. "Hey guys, this is my sister, Addison." Two boys greeted me warmly, except for Lee, who stayed glued to his phone. "So, what would you like to eat?" Leo asked. "Anything is fine," I shrugged. He raised a brow. "You sure?" "Yep." "All right then." He headed to the counter. "Hey," the guy next to me spoke, flashing a warm smile. "I'm Danny," he added, introducing himself. "And I'm JJ," the other guy at Lee's side chimed in. "Welcome to Winter's High," he added. "Thanks," I said, managing a small smile. I glanced around the hall, taking the insights and sounds. That's when I noticed her again, the Amber girl. Strolling toward our table, when she got closer, she touched Lee's shoulder, ruffled his hair, and greeted him sweetly. Lee smiled, showing a side of him I hadn't seen before. His smile was beautiful. So he can actually smile, then why is he being cold to me? Amber pulled a seat beside him. Her gaze fell on me, and she gave me a weird, annoying look. "You didn't tell me you have a sister now," she spoke, directing the questions to Lee, her tone sounding curious. "Oh, about that," Lee chimed, a hint of revelation in his voice. I felt like he was about saying more, but then Leo returned with a tray of food. "Here you go, Addie. Waffles, chips, and lemonade. Enjoy." I smiled gratefully, my stomach already growling. "Thanks, Leo." As I ate, I tried to ignore the conversations around me. The group laughed and joked. Amber was part of the conversation, but her eyes kept flicking back to me with that same sharp, challenging stare. I shifted uneasily under her gaze. Just then Chloe's voice stirred in my head, low and curious. "What's up with her?" I whispered back under my breath, lips barely moving. "I have no idea. Luckily no one at the table seemed to notice." Amber, meanwhile, leaned closer to Lee, laughing at something he said, but her eyes never truly left mine. From my observation, I could tell she was drawn to him. I mean, who wouldn't be? He has all it takes to make a girl drool. Like, can you see his eyes? The lunch break finally ended, and we all headed back to our classes, and the rest of the day passed in a blur of classes. My last was biology, where I ran into Kelly again. We walked to our lockers together, chatting about the human body and laughing easily. Her presence was comforting. After saying goodbye, I headed to the parking lot. That's when I spotted Lee and Amber by the car, laughing together. My chest tightened with unease. Before I could dwell on it, an arm wrapped around my shoulder. I turned to see Leo smiling down at me. "There you are. I was looking for you." Relieved, I followed him to the car. He opened the back seat for me and I slid in. Lee joined us a few minutes later, his usual silence filling the ride. Only Leo broke it, asking about my day, his tone warm and genuine. And for the first time since this morning I felt a spark of hope. To be continued. Amber's rivalry is only beginning, but why does her gaze linger on Addison so intensely? Will Addison find true allies in Leo, Kelly, or even her cold foster brother Lee? Or are deeper shadows waiting to be revealed? Thought Balloon, what do you think will happen next? Drop your theories in the comments. Pushpin, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you won't miss Chapter 3 of The Shadow Within. Until then, keep the stories alive.